I don't feel like myself lately. Hey loves, welcome back to another episode of Sassy Speaks. It's your girl Sassy, and here we are, another week in May. It's almost June. Again, where is this time going? So, if you're new here, welcome to Sassy Speaks, and this is a podcast where we say what we want to say and how we feel, and we don't sugarcoat because we keep it real. We hope that you come back again and again and again. To my day ones, hey boos. Thank you for coming back another week, rocking with your girl. And we are still in our series, Can We Be Real? And this is week 3. So y'all gotta let me know how you've been liking this. Am I hurting your feelings? If I am, I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry because this is getting us all the way together. And when I say us, I mean me too, because I truly need to get it together. But here we are, another day, another week. So we are thankful for that. So I don't feel like myself lately. Have you ever just paused for a second and thought, I don't feel like myself anymore? Not in a dramatic way, not in a falling apart way, just quietly. Like somewhere between responsibilities, stress, disappointment, survival mode. You changed. Nothing is necessarily wrong, but something feels off. And can we be real for a minute? Because this feeling, it's hard to explain. You're still functioning. You're still going to work. You're still answering texts. You're still handling responsibilities. But internally, something feels disconnected. And honestly, a lot of people have been walking around feeling like this right now. Tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. Disconnected in a way they can't explain. Present physically, but mentally somewhere else. And the scary part is sometimes life keeps moving so fast. You don't even realize how far away from yourself you drifted. It's like being in the ocean. You start off in one place and you look up and you're 60 feet down the shore. Oh, this hits home. I swear it hits home. You know what's strange? Things that used to feel normal don't feel the same anymore. Your routine feels off. Your energy feels different. Even your reactions have changed. And it's not always dramatic. It's subtle. You stop getting excited about things. You stop feeling connected to moments. You start moving through life on autopilot. And people around you may not even notice. Because from the outside, you still look fine. But internally, you feel distant from yourself. Nothing's wrong, but nothing feels right either. And sometimes you keep telling yourself, maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I just need rest. Maybe I'm overthinking. But deep down, you know something shifted. And one thing about burnout, emotional exhaustion, heartbreak, stress, grief, disappointment, they don't always announce themselves loudly. Sometimes they slowly change you while you're busy trying to survive. You're in survival mode. Things are going on normally because one thing about it is true that life will continue to go on and you're just trying to keep up, but you're slowly drifting away from yourself. How do we stop that from happening? You don't want to lose yourself. And my thing is about life. Everything may not be going good, but you want to enjoy the little moments and you want to be in the moment. So even if it's something that is small, but it's big to you, going shopping. Y'all know that's my favorite thing to do. I just want to go to Burlington. I want to go find some stuff for my house, and that it will be the highlight of my week. But I'm going to be in that moment, right? I'm going to be aware of what's going on, and not that I'm going to forget about the world and anything else, but I'm going to enjoy this moment because this is what I have to hang on to. Sad, but it is where life is taking us at this time. And here's the part nobody talks about enough. You might be outgrowing your current life. Wow. Your habits, your mindset, your environment, even certain people. Ouch. And outgrowing things sounds beautiful in motivational quotes, but in real life, it's uncomfortable because growth creates distance. Sometimes the things that once fit you don't fit anymore. And that can make you feel guilty, confused, lonely, because now you're standing in a weird in-between space. Oh, I hate that in-between space. Oh, that valley is rough. Let me tell you, that valley is rough. Too aware to stay the same, but not fully transformed yet. That valley, you're not stuck, you're in transition. And transitions are uncomfortable because everything feels uncertain. What we doing? You start questioning yourself, you question your direction, you question your purpose. And sometimes you even question your identity because the old version of you is fading before the new version fully arrives. So what do we do when we in that valley? How do we get through the valley? As I say all the time, going through the valley is rough. And what we got to do to get to the mountaintop? Because I want to see the views from the mountaintop. So that feeling disconnected and that in-between space, it can feel really lonely. Again, you're physically present, but mentally somewhere else. You're doing things, but not really feeling them. You laugh, but it doesn't fully reach you. You show up, but part of you feels emotionally checked out. That emotionally checked out is a horrible place to be because how am I going to be in the moment? How am I going to enjoy the moment if I'm emotionally checked out? What are we doing here, loves? And then there are those moments where you don't even recognize your own reactions. You snap quicker? Guilty. You withdraw more? Guilty. You overthink everything? Sometimes guilty. You stop explaining yourself because you're too mentally tired. Oh, I feel that one. Guilty, guilty. I'm tired. I ain't got time to explain to you when, how, why, and where. Um, because I just don't have the energy. I feel that one. And honestly, that disconnect can make you feel guilty because people think you're okay and you don't even know how to explain that you're not. It's okay to say I'm not okay. I'm not okay is a full sentence. No is a full sentence. I can't or I won't is a full sentence. I'm here, but I don't feel like me. And maybe nobody did anything wrong. Maybe life has just been heavy. And when life stays heavy for too long, it changes how you carry yourself. Life has definitely been heavy. Life has definitely been heavy for a long period of time. And we're not meant to carry these things alone. But sometimes you feel alone carrying them. So how do we change this? How do we get back to either our selves or our new selves? I don't want to say your old self because we don't want to go to the old self. But how do we find our way back? So what do you do when you feel like this? You slow down, houseway. And I know that's hard because everybody keeps telling you to push through, to stay productive, to keep going. But sometimes you don't need pressure. You need space. Space to think, space to rest, space to process, and space to reconnect with yourself. How can you do these things if everything is constantly moving in your circle? Again, life is going to go on. Life is going to life. The world is going to continue to spin. But in your space, your circle, you control that area. Whatever, 3 feet around you, you control that area. And you need to take space to reconnect with yourself. Because how are we going to get there if we don't slow down? Not everything needs an immediate answer. Not everything has to be figured out overnight. This is my problem because I want it figured out and moved on to the next thing. Sometimes healing looks like honesty. Wow. Admitting you've been overwhelmed. Admitting you've been disconnected. Admitting you've been surviving more than living. Ooh, ouch again. And maybe you didn't lose yourself. Maybe you're becoming someone new. And that's okay, right? Maybe this version of you is asking for a change. Ooh, for rest, for boundaries. There's my word. For peace. There's my other word. For alignment. Wow. And maybe the reason things feel uncomfortable is because your spirit knows it can't stay where it used to be. Now that one's deep. Your spirit is telling you to slow down. You need rest. You need to set boundaries. You need to find your peace. and you need to find your alignment. As cliche as it sounds, it is very true. You cannot be any good to anyone else if you're not good to yourself. And I wholeheartedly believe that. Even though the world is eating us alive, the world is in shambles, I still believe that we have to take some time for ourselves to be able to hold on and to be able to cling on to what life is giving us, to figure out what we need to do in order to survive this place. And that is not easy because, again, if you don't have time or you don't make time, how do we figure out what's going on? How do we make it through this? How do we find our way back to ourselves? Now, growth is a wonderful thing. We don't do the things we used to do. We don't talk how we used to talk. And that is definitely growth. But we want to continue to grow in a positive way. And we don't want to wait until we're being carried into a stretcher to get the rest. They say if you don't slow down, your body will put you down. And then sometimes it's too late. So we have to listen to our spirits, listen to our bodies, and continue to push, but only when it's a healthy push and not breaking you down even further. So if you've been feeling off lately, disconnected, tired, emotionally distant, not quite like yourself, you're not broken, you're not failing, and you're not alone. You might just be in a season where life is changing you quietly, and growth doesn't always feel empowering while it's happening. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. Sometimes it feels confusing. Sometimes it feels lonely. Sometimes it feels like losing yourself before finding yourself again. And maybe that's okay. Again, this is Sassy Speaks, where we say what you feel, even when you don't have the words for it. If this episode found you at the right time, send it to somebody who's been carrying a lot quietly. And if nobody told you lately, take your time becoming who you're growing into, because that is important. So that's all I have to say about the situation. Reach out to me. Again, tell me if you're hurt, if you're cool, if you like it, if you don't. I'm open to all things. Also, feel free to send me topics on episodes you would like to hear. If you have questions, I'm open. You can email me at sassyspeakspod@gmail.com. Facebook, Sassy Speaks. IG, Sassyspeakspod. And hopefully you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, because it is helping me at least know what I need to do to get myself all the way together. I'm not saying that I'm doing it because it's so easy to do, because it takes time. It's a lot of work, and especially if you're going through struggles and you're trying to keep them quiet, that's a whole nother battle in itself, because you feel like you have to carry it alone. But I'm here to tell you, you don't. The world is crazy, but you do have some good people that are willing to go through with you. I know everybody doesn't have family, everybody doesn't have close friends, but that's when you got to make it work. We got to connect. We got to find people that will be our circle and lean on each other. And sometimes family isn't who you share your bloodline with. It's people who you find throughout the world, and they give you that comfort and that peace that you haven't had in your family. And again, that's okay. But until next week, please stay safe, stay sassy, stay smart, and let's start living in the moment and stop surviving in the moment. And you know how we do. I'll see y'all next week. Bye, loves.